Welcome everybody to our coverage of the 2021 PDGA Amateur Disc Golf World Championships in Orlando, Florida, powered by Dynamic Discs and Latitude 64. You are watching MA1 Lead Card Round 3 Front 9 coverage brought to you by us here at BDub Pro. Today's commentary will be provided by myself, Cameron Makiling, and of course my buddy Grant Zellner from the PDGA. Before we get started, let's head over to our player profiles to meet our lead card.
I'm Aiden Scott from Duncan, South Carolina. My putting was really good. That was probably the glue that held that round together. My driving was all right, but I made a lot of circles edge putts that kept my round hot. It's a pretty tight course, so just try to be consistent, stay in the fairways, and get as many birdies as I can.
Hey, I'm Ezra Hapner from Santa Cruz, California. My game plan, just play clean. It's a real tight course, but par is attainable, so, just stay in the fairway and attack when I can. We were supposed to have a short layover in St. Louis, and there's a storm that rolled through right when we got in, so we had to stay the night, got out a day late, but luckily we still got to practice everything, and yeah, I'm just happy to be here.
I'm Aiden Scott from Chattanooga, Tennessee. I felt as if I was placing things fairly well. I had a semi-slow start, but I felt as if I just didn't make any huge mistakes and get myself putts. That's about it. I am 2 strokes back of the lead, but I'm really just trying to get everything easy and let the strokes come to me, not really trying to chase anybody and just stay smooth in the fairway.
Robert Burridge from Houston, Texas. I'm feeling more confident than I was during the second round. I'm looking forward to attacking this course and doing what I can, and we'll see what happens by the end of it. My game plan is to play smart. I'm going to try to get the birdie when I can, but when it's out of play, I'll just lay up and do what I have to.
And here we are at hole 1, a 480-foot par 4.
Starts off out in the open, and then you've got a gap that you need to navigate down the fairway. Pretty good distance. Now here's the thing, if you can hit that gap without hyzering out into the brush, you're going to be in an ideal landing zone for your second shot.
Right, I think it is worth mentioning here at Turkey Lake, or T2, the Turkey-nator as it's affectionately called, there is a lot of sand on the fairways. So the ground play here is going to be a lot different than we were seeing over at Lake Hiawatha.
Evan with a great shot in terms of his finish there. Definitely pulled it over just a little bit, but managed to punch through, and he'll have a stance further back than he'd like.
Tied for the lead, Ezra Hapner. Shapes a pretty good shot. Going to be a little bit in the bushes over there.
Yeah, hits the gap, but sort of hits the gap in a with a flight that he didn't want. Here's Aidan hitting the gap with the perfect flight.
And the old man on the card, 20-year-old Robert Burridge.
Robert Burridge trying to shape something here and does so pretty masterfully.
That was great. Excellent place on the fairway to be.
That's a bonus, getting the gap and getting that far up the fairway, for sure.
Well, leaks out a little bit right, and he is going to be over in the rough just a little bit.
Yeah, stance issues. You'll notice here at today's round, here at the T2 course at Bill Frederick Park, the rush a lot more penalizing than the brush was yesterday.
Yeah, this is a lot thicker. The trees are kind of like in bushes more so, as opposed to spaced out along really nice manicured lawns. A little more wild out here, and that is in the thick. That is probably 20 feet into the rough.
I called it rush a minute ago because I was thinking the word rough and I was thinking brush, and so I said rush.
Little portmanteau.
Yeah, just put the words together.
There is a lot more room here at this course to go up and over. With we've already seen a couple throws. Mm-hmm. And like I said, with that sand, you're really able to stick these landings and not have to worry about it rolling away from you.
I checked out the lie on both of those shots, and those up shots to get near the pin for a drop-in and a stress-free par on your opening hole, really more impressive than they looked on camera.
Excellent pair of birdies from Robert and Aidan to get things started.
Evan tapping in his par, and Ezra tapping in a par. And like I said, they earn those pars. Hopefully that shakes the rust off just a little bit as we head to hole 2.
Hole 2, 305-foot par 3. This one is pretty much straight ahead of him, but as you can see...
Yeah, it's tied all the way down. So, and at that distance, what do these players feel comfortable throwing? Do you want to really get on a putter or a mid-range? Do you want to try to smooth maybe a fairway driver down there? It's going to be about comfort when it comes to disc selection here, and we'll see how these guys attack this hole. Maybe we'll get some different strategies here. Aiden choosing to go with a slower flying disc. He wants to throw it hard and get it to finish over there slightly to the left, and really does so. Puts himself right about circle's edge. Shouldn't have too much obstruction from there.
Robert Burridge going with a putter, it looks like. And same kind of thing. He just, wow, great. Taps the pin there.
I heard that from behind the tee. I knew that he had gotten awfully close.
Around it.
Evan smoothing something that looked to be a little bit faster in there. Again, these guys looking for comfort on these tight holes to start off this round.
And that is 4 inside the circle.
Excellent putt from Evan. Always feels good to be the furthest from the pin and to put your putt right on the money. Kind of puts some pressure on those guys that thought they were closer and sitting prettier than you.
Definitely the way you want to get things started. After getting a par on that first hole, Evan was definitely looking to convert and score here. Doesn't look like it's going to be gaining any strokes on the card, however, as I think we're going to have an early start frame at the risk of jinxing it.
We could indeed. Aiden, had a challenging putt in that he had to straddle. But these guys comfortable with a variety of putting stances and situations. When you're competing at this level, you're ready for just about anything.
An early start frame here, and you can just see just how much of a showcase of young talent this card really is here on the lead card. Moving on to hole 3, 345-foot par 3.
Yeah, this hole definitely a low ceiling. A really challenging shot to shape and get enough power on the shot to get that 345 feet.
Yeah, and I think that the first gap you kind of have where it opens up just a little bit is a little misleading because you don't want to try and get any height through there, and you want to make sure you have it low enough to get back into where the basket is down there.
So there's that low ceiling. Then you've got some open space, and then low ceiling comes right back into play there at the pin. Even the holes on this course that seem to be more open really aren't, because all the places that you need to navigate to get a close shot to the pin, remain tight and really force specific shot shapes.
And that tree just killing all the speed on that disc that Evan threw there. He's going to be quite a bit shorter than he was expecting on that drive.
There's that ceiling coming into play. Certainly had the height, certainly had the distance. Going to be well outside the circle for this upshot right here.
Just nice and smooth, just looking to pick up their pars there.
Nicely shaped by Aiden with an awkward stance. A stress-free par coming his way.
A little short there for Robert. This is a par save for Evan.
Oh. Just a little nervy there for Evan. He'll look to bounce back from that. Ends up losing a stroke on all of his card mates.
Ezra able to nab solo first place for a moment here.
A disc shout out from Ezra.
Gotta support your, you gotta show support for your team. Hole 4, 294 foot par 3.
Now, a moment ago, I talked about the low ceiling on the hole before. So this is something else. It's a cave. It's a crawl space. It's an extremely vertically challenged hole, plus a little finish back toward the right here at the end. Woo!
Yeah, that is, and the thing about all these branches is they are thick right where you're going to be running them into. You can see they're still 3 or 4 inches. It's not like the ones just behind his head all over the place. It is like thick arm-sized branches that are going to just stop your disc.
Not a lot of miracle windows.
You know, I'm so used to kind of poking and praying through pine needles out west, so these branches do not really allow for those kind of plays. And you can see here they got to keep it low, and trying to get that amount of turn on a low shot like that.
Really difficult. Ezra going low and hard, getting further than either of his card mates before him. Evan, that shot was just inches from being excellent. And you notice he went with a faster disc there, something that he knew he could throw hard and turn. Fortunate not to get too bad a kick off the tree with that much speed.
So everyone just trying to get up and down here. Not really a lot of room to run big putts without the height unless you're going to spin it really hard and risk sliding away.
Aiden from 36 feet here. In to save par. 36-foot putt to save par.
Solid par save. Doesn't even need to take the step from outside the circle. Confident, just firm-footed there.
Yeah, one of those situations that won't get a lot of attention here in a couple of days when things come down to the wire, but that's an important stroke that Aiden was able to save, and you can see he's pretty thrilled with that result.
Yeah, I think anytime making a big putt in a round like this has got to feel good. Just knowing how much pressure is on the line in the third round of a world championship.
Oh, Ezra. That lead that he managed to seize on the last hole, given right back.
3 people tied at 20 under par, and Robert just 1 stroke behind. We're moving on to hole 5, a 876-foot par 5. This is a big hole, and they have to throw a lot of different shapes on this hole just before they get to the basket.
The shot variety, you need to execute this hole well, just within the confines of hole number 5. Pretty broad. They do get to air out their tee shot, which I know is going to feel pretty good.
Yep, lots of room here off the tee.
Yeah, all you've got to do is miss that really large tree there to the right. As long as you miss that, you've got plenty of room. Even if you throw it a little 2 nose up and have it hyzering out, lots of room out to the left, no out of bounds to speak of, no problems like that. Robert choosing to go with very much a placement shot here.
Keeps it low, swings it under all of those branches.
Takes a lot of confidence to do that.
These guys all just looking to push a good distance while still turning that corner.
Evan, the blue disc into the blue clear sky.
Oh, and he
Lost it.
finds
We
a lake
lost it off the tee until it landed. You saw that little poof of sand. That's what let us know that he was doing just fine.
Ezra is going for distance here. Getting all the way out there by Curtis. Past Curtis.
And showing all the space that he's got to work with out there, even if you go long.
Evan's going to get caught up in the trees over there.
Right about here, you'll be able to notice pretty clearly here in just a second, a good old summer Florida rain shower set in. And you can start to see the raindrops right there.
Yep, we started hustling to get towels out and umbrellas out to keep all of our camera equipment dry. And
it rained really hard for about 5 minutes. And you know what I noticed? It didn't seem to phase this card a bit. They were prepared for it. They all had umbrellas. They had extra towels. They were really, really well prepared for the situation. Nobody seemed surprised. Nobody even hesitated on shots very long, other than what it took to, to make sure everything was dry. They were ready to go. They didn't seem impacted at all.
Right, yeah, just really showing off just the caliber of these players to just have already thought of all of those possibilities. They were all, like you said, they were all fully prepared for whatever kind of weather, 100 degrees with 90% humidity, or, I think it got down to like 84, which is cold for summer here in Florida. And
did you just say cold?
After the week that I've had in the heat and humidity, yesterday I got a little chilly for just a second here when it started raining on us. It was refreshing, to say the least. Great bid.
Aiden, wow.
Tags the next hole sign underneath the basket.
All these guys knowing that a par 5 is a rare opportunity on this course. Everybody wanting to take advantage of that, wanting to get a birdie on the board, and struggling to do so.
Solo birdie there from Ezra to make up for that bogey on the last hole. Able to gain a stroke on his card mates.
A little good shot from Evan to Ezra before he cleans up his par.
And going to tap in here, and we are going to head to a commercial break.
Me and my brother and my dad were out there for hours just playing disc golf, having fun.
That's like one of the first things we usually say. It's a great family sport.
We got to do it as a family.
It builds relationship. Like, I know my dad so much better because of disc golf.
It's nice that that's something that we can connect and go do together.
My parents are 100% behind it. Bad rounds, good rounds, doesn't matter. They always have a smile on their face.
We don't call it sacrifice. We call it fun.
Get out there and have fun. At the end of the day, most important is have fun.
And we are back from commercial break here at hole 6, a 317-foot par 3.
This is an over-the-top opportunity that doesn't come along very often on these Florida courses. These guys are going to be able to try to throw some kind of a stalling shot real high and then want it to finish up and over. It's kind of like a ridge of trees, really. It's a canopy that is right up here on the left, and there's your stalling shot, and he needs to clear that canopy kind of like a high jump and get right over the other side and finish very quickly over the other side there.
Yep, and Ezra doesn't quite make it over, as you can see his expression there.
Evan choosing to throw something very, very hard. He wants to almost swing in from behind the hole and can't find his disc. I don't know if we're going to get a shot, so I'll reveal in a moment where his disc ended up.
Yep, those players can get past those trees. There is all of that sand down there right by the green, too, so it really does give you the opportunity to really stick it in there. You don't have to worry about it, standing up and rolling off into the bushes. If you get to the green, you're on the green. Or I guess it's a tan. If you get to the tan, you're on the tan. But
Evan throwing it hard, throwing it high, looking for the stall, gets it right there. Boof.
See 2 down inside.
And here's Aiden with a stance tight up against the base of that tree. The reason why, if you notice the shape of the bark on that tree, his disc wedged into the bark on that palm tree just above about how tall he is. Took a while to find it.
I was Great birdie from Evan. But I was talking to Ezra while we were leaving this hole, and him and I were mentioning Ezra's from Santa Cruz.
Yep.
He gets to play at De La. We were just mentioning how back home that would have been a 2-meter rule.
Yeah, it sure would have been. No 2-meter rule in effect.
Yeah, that does not seem to be the norm out here, I've noticed, on the East Coast. But it was funny to have a West Coast guy there with me to have a little chit-chat with about it. Par there for Aiden, and we are moving right along to hole 7, 490-foot par 4.
If you look on the map, this hole looks like an almost straight hole. But you'll see here in a moment the shape of the trees on the fairway force it into something of a dogleg right. And so players off the tee, sidearm, a common option off the tee. Some may even choose a roller, forehand or backhand, off the tee.
And also, it should be mentioned that here at Turkey Lake, there's quite a bit more elevation change than we saw over at Lake Hiawatha. If you recall from the previous coverage, very flat over there. And here, while you're not necessarily changing drastically in elevation, you are kind of rolling along for a lot of this course, which is pretty nice in my opinion. Refreshing from yesterday's.
Yeah. Feels good on the legs as you're walking to have a little bit of an elevation change here or there. Evan just striping his drive. Absolutely striping it. And you can see there that drive really, really straight, and still he'll have to navigate kind of that right turn in the fairway late.
Nice big backhand roller there.
Aiden, a right finishing backhand roller that will have to go still further right. So you see what I mean about the hole playing more like a dogleg right.
That forehand roller is cutting its way all the way up there. And that was a very far.
It's a really
forehand
great
roller.
shot to get a chance at accessing the pin. It won't be a great chance. It'll be a distant putt, but just to get up there, a great shot.
Very smooth, very well controlled forehand there from Aiden. Robert also laying one down right underneath the pin.
Yeah, no
Not
stress.
wanting to worry about putting at all here. Slides a little farther with those pine needles there.
This pin a little bit on a hillside, sort of slopes upward to the pin from where the players are walking here. So depending on where you are on the green complex, you may have certainly not a death putt, but you may have a putt that if you miss is going to potentially roll away or at least drift down the hill.
Right.
Oh,
and it does just that.
Evan illustrating that right there. So he's got a comeback putt longer than his initial putt. In the rain, buries it. And he knows that was important. Probably also a little bit disappointed to have missed that birdie opportunity.
Bogey there from Ezra. After a tough couple throws there.
Aiden with the birdie and Robert with a drop in, and look at this, a four-way tie at the top through 7 holes.
Impressive. Yeah, these guys are talented. I don't know how many times I'm gonna be able to say that in one round, but it, as you see here, being tied 4 ways for the lead is pretty dang exciting. Hole 8, 277-foot par 3.
Right up the side of this pasture land here on the right. A really straightforward shot. Requires just a little bit of shape to it. But at 277 feet, all of our players, a full range of options. Again, a low ceiling. So are you going to throw it hard and low and try to skip your disc and skid it along up there on the hard pan? Or are you going to throw something higher with a little more shape to it? We just saw the hard low play. Now here's that higher shaped play coming from Aiden, and one tree kept him outside the circle right there.
Here we go with that nice hard low forehand.
I don't know if you noticed.
Wow.
That was an extremely high-speed disc for only a 277-foot shot. He was playing the skip all the way.
Was that a force?
It was a force or something a lot like it. Really, really wide-rimmed, high-speed driver. And you're going to see a similar play here out of Ezra. Again, a wide-rimmed, high-speed driver, and just buries it into the only part of the fairway where it's going to get eaten up like that, the one place where there's grass. So now Ezra looking to get close enough for a stress-free par putt.
Hangs it, tries to hang it out around the trees, and that kick does push him back towards the basket, but he's left with a circle 2 look.
Definitely a good kick.
Wow, great bid from Robert Burridge. And not a terrible roll either.
Aiden feeling really good about his putt right now. That's not the first putt of that length that he has put right into the heart of the change. That's probably the third putt through just the first 8 holes that he has made from that distance.
So smooth, so confident, and does so without taking that step. He's not a step putter. He really likes to feel planted. And he does a very good job sending it home from that range. So
it's about 40 feet or so.
Ezra misses just a little bit wide.
Evan with a pretty obstructed putt here and just buries it.
Nails a huge birdie with a wide straddle putt with all kinds of little branches.
Yeah, that camera angle perfect to show the window. And probably a little misleading. I walked over and looked at his lie as we left this particular hole, and his lie, whew, it was an obstructed putt.
Par there for Robert. And Ezra with about a 15-footer here. See, the rain hadn't quite let up yet. Still catching showers here on hole 8. Sun's starting to peek through. You can see how bright it is on Evan's hat back there. An unfortunate bogey, and the card moving around a little bit here on hole 8.
Remember, we were tied not so very long ago.
All right, last hole of the front 9, hole 9, a 385-foot par 3.
A little bit of a dog leg to the left on this hole.
And this hole is more reminiscent of stuff we saw yesterday, you know, with the covered forest floor and the higher low ceiling. You know, the ceiling's still there, but it is pushed up quite a bit compared to a lot of the holes we've been on so far today.
Yeah, this hole feels spacious compared to a lot of the other holes here on this course. Not really a gap to speak of that you've got to hit. Just a fairway to navigate with the right shape. At 385 feet, you've definitely got to lean on something pretty hard. It feels good to be able to do that and not have to hit a 15 or a 20-foot gap at the same time.
Right, yeah. Yeah, there you could drive a semi-truck down this fairway for sure. And which is nice that it can still be so wooded and still provide that forest feel and have that space. There's a lot of different topography, I guess is the correct word here at this course, which is nice to have so many different things in one round.
Robert taking advantage of having a little bit more airspace to work with. Hits the one wide tree that guards this green complex.
As we're looking to make a solid play here after taking 2 consecutive bogeys. Just slides along the leaves there.
Yeah, probably didn't intend to throw it that low, but it worked out more or less, at least giving him a circle 2 look. Oh,
just off the front of the
awfully
cage.
close.
Needed maybe 1 more inch of height there. Aiden just hanging out, just a little wide.
Yeah, that's that distance he's been cashing in all round long.
And Robert's going to take a birdie there.
Definitely takes advantage. Remember, he hit that tree probably 15 feet off the ground. So had he missed that tree, he may have had a putt of double that length from the other side. Taking advantage of a rub of the green.
Evan with a nice bird there.
Retains a one-stroke lead here through 9.
Another thing I've noticed here in Florida is things do not dry off very quickly due to the humidity.
No, they don't.
They get wet, and then it just kind of stays damp.
Yeah, my shoes are still wet. Thank you very much.
Need some lighter weight shoes there. Ezra going to tap out a par there. And we are going to take a look at the scorecard one time before we head off from the front 9. As you can see, Robert Burridge so far with the hot round at -5. Aiden Scott at 4 under. Evan Scott at 3 under. And Ezra at even par. But Evan Scott currently in the lead by 1 stroke on Aiden and Robert. And Ezra falling off just a little bit there. Hopefully he'll be able to make some moves in the back 9. Follow us at PDGA on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you aren't already a member, head to PDGA.com so you can join the party. You can also find us at BDub Pro on Facebook and Instagram, and head over to our YouTube channel and hit like on any of the videos and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming content. Thanks, everybody. We will see you in the back 9.